afternoon, hello. We are here in Shkoder in the north of Albania, our last stop in our Albanian adventure.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful little city steeped in history and antiquity, but we are a little bit museum fatigued from our Tirana extravaganza.
Problematic.
So we're going to just do some more natural things because the jewel of this visit is the Shkodra Lake, which borders with Montenegro.
Yeah.
So we're going to go do that. But first we're going to start with this mate behind us, the castle.
Yeah.
I hear a man's home is his castle.
Fucking terrible. At Rozafa Castle, which is at the top of Shkodër, about 130 metres up. But it was first created in the Illyrian period, predating Albania. So this has been around for centuries and centuries. It's been the home to a number of different sieges, including the siege of 1912 and 1913, when the Montenegro people overcame the Ottomans in their empire and then in their territory, and then came down and invaded Shkodër over the course of a year, and ultimately the Albanians got through, but this place has been left in ruins from many, many attacks.
So there's a folklore attached to the building of the castle that involves three brothers, as it always does, and the sacrificing of a woman, as it always does. Didn't have to be a virgin in this story, as is so often the case. Anyway, so these three brothers are trying to build the castle and they're having trouble with the strength of the foundation, which kept collapsing. And they stumble upon this old man who gives them the insight that they need to sacrifice one of their wives unknowingly, and that would secure the foundation of the castle. So the three brothers go away with the agreement that they're not going to tell any of their wives, and they're going to see which one of the wives comes along, and that is how they'll choose which one will be sacrificed. Jesus. The two eldest brothers go home and tell their wives the shtick. The youngest brother doesn't. So the next day, the mother of the three sons and her three daughter-in-laws are preparing the meal for the boys, as is the case. And they're like, we need to take it up to the lads doing all the work. And the two older wives, the wives of the older brothers, are like, oh no, excuse, knowing that they will go to their death. Yeah. The youngest wife starts heading over. And the youngest brother knows the shtick and he's like, no, stop, this is the story, you can't do this, you'll die. Yeah. And she's like, you know what, I know this castle is like super important to you, so I will entomb myself and sacrifice myself for the building of this castle. But we've got a young son, so just make me a promise, all right, boo? Encase me in stone, but let the right part of my body be exposed, so my right eye, hand, foot and breast. She's like, so that when our son stirs, my eye will comfort him and make him smile, my hand will rock him, my foot will bring him to sleep and he can suckle on my breast. And so apparently there's half the body of a woman somewhere in this castle.
We'll find it out for you.
But so she did. She entombed herself, died, and the castle has thus been built for thousands of years. Hundreds of years.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, but this bish isn't here to play. Like, this castle is big. I don't know how much time I want to spend, like, you know, walking around trying to find this half-encased woman.
We'll do our best.
It could be a shtick.
We'll give it a good 10, 15 minutes.
Oh, and her name was Rozafa, which is why it's called Rozafa Castle.
Fascinating.
But what a story.
That's a great story.
Yeah, because it's, you know, three brothers and women dying.
Yeah. Okay, so Rozafa Castle is actually home to a cathedral that back in the day in the Illyrian period was a Catholic church called St. Stephen's Cathedral, many people assume, the historians. But when the Ottomans came in and took over, it became a mosque, as many of the places of worship did when they moved in. And you can see, we'll take this shot here, but the pillar there, very Ottoman in its two tones of colour, going up in that spire, or what's left of it.
Right, so here we find ourselves on Lake Shkodër. A bit of a stitch up. This is the second time that we've made a dedicated stop to see a lake. The other one was Lake Garda in Italy, where the weather is just piss. So the rain has held off for a second, so we've come down for a visit. But all of the information that we could get, there's no like singular entry point to come to the lake and walk around. And I found on a blog some information that said come to this like Lake Shkodër resort and you can hire some kayaks here and then there's a path that you can walk around. And we've just rocked up and everything's closed off. So we've got, you know, a car park that says no entry and then that's the resort back there. But it's fenced off and there's obviously no walkway here. So at a little loss of whether we can walk around. Can we just get a look at this umbrella setup? Working out the kinks. Bridge was built in 1770 by an Ottoman Pasha. A Pasha is...
A person of importance or interest? Maybe just importance.
Yeah, like a military dignitary, the equivalent of a knight in Britain.
Nonsensical name.
It goes over the Kira River in the village of Mesi, called the Mesi Bridge.
Yeah.
That's all we got for you.
Looks pretty cool though. Looks spectacular.
Intel, respect the research. Thank you, wikipedia.com.
Trying to capture here, folks, is an example of terrible fucking driving.
Look at this guy.
Like,
example of parking, people just fucking double park everywhere. No one uses indicators, just hazards excuse all manner of sin.
don't assume that it's the bicycles. The bicycles are a huge thing here in Shkodër, but the driving is just as bad, probably worse in the other parts of Albania where there were way less bikes on the road.
How much road rage have you had this week?
More than typical for me.
Pedestrians have just complete right of way. This is actually not pleasant.
Yeah, this is.
We need to talk about how bad the driving is. Well, I suppose we should try and capture some, or we'll just turn the camera on at any point and we'll catch psychos. That's not very nice. They seem completely chill with it.
Yeah.
More double parking, hazards, excusing everything.
But this is a pretty fancy little joint. Lots of room. Couch each for me and Danielle. It's got a laundry. Cheap little bedroom. And a bathroom.
Just slowly remember.
And a bathroom in through here. Yeah, there's laundry in there. You've seen washing machines before. We don't need to show you that. But if you like what you see here in Shkodër, we'll put a link for the booking.com reservation that we made down below. Check it out in the links.
Under 200 Australian dollars for 3 nights with free parking and the washing machine and obviously a kitchen, which are our 3 essentials.
Yeah. We're going to try some traditional Albanian dessert.
It's not even Albanian.
It's not even Albanian. It's from Shkodër.
Kept seeing tres leche, which is a Spanish dessert.
Oh.
I think it's like 3 milks, tres leche.
Okay,
Tres leche. But it's everywhere. We keep seeing them in like shop windows and stuff. And so we went into the bakery to get some bread because we made soup for dinner. And they had some there. So we're going to... Oh, you didn't put it in the fridge. Tyler made a mistake.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Really? All right. Milky fa. I don't like it. It's too sloppy. Like, look how, like, watery. It's not like creamy. It's not like a tiramisu where the cream gets absorbed in. Like, look at that. The flavour's not bad. I don't like the texture. It's all just mush.
I've had this before. Yeah, it's not bad. I don't mind that at all. It is watery though. It is really...
There's something off.
It's like a soggy biscuit.
Yes,
That's
it's
what
a
it is.
soggy biscuit.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's delicious. I ate this for days. Castrati is the name of Skanderbeg's family. And now all the petty stations are named after him. Some of them.
And what is our theory?
Because Skanderbeg is fueling the nation.
Down out.
Cut off by the big orange van.
You just have to be vigilant from every fucking direction.
And get out of roundabouts as quick as you can. That's where the accident's going to happen.
We haven't talked about is the sheer amount of rogue cats and dogs throughout the Balkans, but it has been particularly unreal in Albania. And Tyler reckons, because they all have these green tags in their ears, and you reckon that it's the government's way of regulating them.
Could be, it's a total guess.
Yeah, you've made it up, haven't you? That it's easier to deal with them
Then kill them.
than kill them. But what is the point of putting tags in their ears?
To tell you if they're vaccinated.
Oh, to vaccinate them, that was it. That they vaccinate them, put the tag in their ear and then let them go rogue. So generally speaking, they're like not very threatening, but they're just everywhere. We're in Shiroka, which is 20 minutes outside of the centre of Shkoder, because this is supposed to be the best place to view the lake. There's a beautiful path around it. And we came here today with notions that we might go out for a kayak, because there's lots of little like inlets and estuaries, is it called, when it's like a small...
Yeah, like a Riviera.
Riviera into the main body, but the sea stay is too choppy for my confidence on a kayak because we're not avid kayakers. Real talk is that we screwed the pooch with the plan for Lake Shkodër because we're us. And you'd think that going to Shkodër for Lake Shkodër would be the most effective way to experience the lake. But it turns out that most of the boat tours and activities that you can do are from the Montenegrin side, and we're not going to the lake on the Montenegrin side. Yeah. So we're just going to walk around this morning. It's a beautiful path. It's a beautiful little town. And make the most of it.
First good weather day.
Yeah, first good weather day. So we'll just have like a lazy morning walking around, and that'll be us. Nice little way to end our visit in Albania, our 10 days. It's the biggest lake in the Balkans.
Yeah, on the Balkan Peninsula.
On the Balkan Peninsula. She's a beaut.
One thing to note about Albania, Shkodër is the bicycle capital of Albania. I didn't push Danielle this time, one, because she's not a big fan of the bicycle, and two, we'll show you driving around on these roads. Fuck being on a bicycle on these roads.
What do you mean you didn't push me?
I didn't push you.
Because I don't like bicycles. That's some propaganda bullshit. I'm not as good at Tyler, therefore...
There's a card above, and there's going to be a link to our Rock Nest video. Go and check that out.
Yeah, well, I'm not as good as you. Doesn't mean I don't like it. Like, I don't love it, but fuck you, man.
I'm going to enjoy this drive to Montenegro.
the end of our time in Shkoder and our Albanian adventure.
If you like what you see, make sure you click this thumbnail here to see more of our content and where we actually began our adventure.
We'll see you next week as we head to Montenegro, another border crossing, the last country in the Balkans, and that's about it.
Thanks for watching.
See you next time on Never Not.